If you experience any issues during the AGM with access, please email membership@britishobstacle.org. We've got Reese who's standing by just to monitor that. Equally, if you've got any questions or queries during the meeting, you can also message British Obstacle Sports within the chat function, and Reese Jeremiah will pick that up for you. Please also note this meeting is being recorded, and through attendance you accept that we may live stream the content and share the recording for future viewing. Okay, always a bit nervous waiting for everyone to join the meeting. Our quorum is 30 members. I can report that we have more than 30 members present, just about, so hopefully a few more will be joining shortly. Therefore, quorum is met and we can begin our AGM. So back in 2021, we collectively set the mission of British Obstacle Sports. We want to ensure that everyone in the UK can enjoy the endless possibilities of obstacle sports. I'm sure you'll see over the course of the next 2 hours a lot of this playing out and all the work that's been done by the team. And I think it's essential that we kind of live and breathe what this mission for British Obstacle Sports, and it should feed in everything we do. Today we're going to cover the AGM resolutions, the kind of formal parts of the AGM, and we have some additional business covering rules of the sport, covering some updates on the International Federation and what's happening at world obstacle level. We've also got a recognition update for you and some updates on membership. Then I'm going to go into the committees. All of the committees are here and present, and they're going to cover all the hard work that they've been doing over the course of the year. We'll spend some time going through some partner updates from an organisational perspective. We've got UK OCR, Scottish OCR, and Ninja Sport UK. And then we also have some of our partners such as Towergate Insurance that we're going to give an update. And then finally, we'll see the ballot results, and time permitting, we would love to open up to member questions as well. So please feel free during the presentation to throw your questions into the chat so we can make sure we cover those at the end. Finally, an update on the Ultimate Season Pass at the end of the AGM. So just before we get into the formal matters of the AGM, I just wanted to reflect really on where we are today. And I think as I've prepared this AGM with the team, kind of enormous pride actually of what collectively we've been able to achieve, and also a huge sense of gratitude as well, in, as you'll see, how much work has gone into bring the national governing body to the state it's in today. And then finally, commitment to see this through. We've started the recognition process with the UK sports councils, and a commitment to see this through to be officially recognised as a sport. And I know not everyone has been here since the start of the journey. We've gathered steam, and a lot of people have joined since we were founded back in May 3rd, 2019, by Oner, Avara, and the team back then, and Oner still on the board with us today. Incredible amount of work that's gone in since then, and I think hopefully this begins to paint a picture of how far we've come as a governing body. From the first OCR coaching course delivered back in 2020 by Sean Mild and Dave Peters, responding to the COVID-19 outbreak and having to help and support events and training centres and running the UK OSF time trials back in 2020, through to 2021, where we really started to lay the foundations of the federation. We launched our membership program. We brought Ninja Sport and OCR as independent technical committees within the federation, and we started to have licensed events, our first technical official course established, and a lot of work went into our constitution back in 2021 to really ensure that we had a governing body that was fit for purpose and protected its members and the sport that we all love. And as we moved into 2022, we're starting to see the establishment of the competition structure with the UK OCR series and our first junior champs in 2022, which was a really powerful moment for the sport. Alongside, you'll see obviously there was a big gap right at the start. There was the European Championship in Poland, which the governing body was very much at the early stages then, didn't necessarily have a lot of involvement, through to where we see today, where we're sending over 100 team members out to Belgium for the OCR World Championships. And we have a full national trials process, a selection policy, and incredibly exciting in terms of what's happened there. And I think we've also got that milestone on the right-hand side of hitting our 650 members. That was a big push throughout the whole journey. And we got there on August 13th this year at Spartan Race Southwest, which enabled us to start our recognition process. Lots of other things obviously referenced in here. I won't go through them all, but fantastic to see all of these things happen, and things like the British Ninja Championships at the end of 2022. And we're going to be having our second one next weekend, or this weekend, I should say. And all of these things are happening through a complete voluntary team, which is really inspiring to see. The many faces, and I'm sure I've probably missed some faces in terms of British Obstacle Sports volunteers in this kind of collage of people supporting the federation. And equally, we've got partners, we've got events, the British Obstacle Sports coaches, the technical officials, and the community as a whole. It's a powerful community that I'm honoured to be a part of and helping to move forward. We've kind of conservatively estimated that in 2023 alone, there's probably over 10,000 hours of national governing body voluntary hours that have been put by this team. And then even a probably more conservative estimate in terms of the free labour that's being delivered for the sport, in excess maybe of £300,000 of free time by this voluntary team. It's, again, powerful thing that's happening here, and really, really proud to be a part of a governing body that's kind of in its infancy, in its early stages, and we are creating history together. It doesn't come without sacrifices, whether that be to paid income, whether that be to time with doing other things, or with family and friends. So if you see anyone that is volunteering time for the federation, please do ensure you kind of give them thanks. Personally, from my perspective, as I said at the start, immense gratitude for everyone that's been a part of this process and supporting British Obstacle Sports. It was nice to get recognition as well at the start of the year. In the UK Obstacle Racing Awards 2022, we were awarded OCR Community of the Year, Outstanding Contribution to OCR, and the British OCR Junior Championships in 2022 won Moment of the Year and Small Event of the Year. And it was a fantastic day when we brought all the juniors together with lots of volunteers supporting the event. And as we'll see later, we had our second successful junior championships back in October. Now, all of this hard work by the team, it's not without some challenges as well. And I've probably outlined 3 here, and there's potentially more. And I think we recognise that there's a number of administrative challenges as a governing body. We've started to roll out coaching programs and technical official programs. We've got multiple committees and all of those organisational challenges that come with any organisation. And then we have the kind of heightened challenge, the additional challenge of being a voluntary organisation, trying to manage all these things and ensure we're working with coaches to ensure all their paperwork's in and responding to queries. It's as we scale, and now we're at 1,800 members, these administrative challenges are things that we need to work on and grow and support as an organisation. We then have the heightened community expectations. We've done, I would say, an incredible amount of work, but as a national governing body, there's an expectation of what a national governing body should deliver. So we have to manage that, and we want to be able to do that. But then we also have to reflect and understand that we are still a very young organisation, and to get to where we want and that level of professionalism takes a lot of work. And probably to an extent, we need to get to a point where we have a paid team that is managing some of these important things, just like any other national governing body. And then finally, volunteer workload. There is a lot of pressure and time that the team commit to. So this is not without its own challenges, and we do have people that leave the organisation and move on to other things, quite often because of the work that's involved and the time commitment that's needed. And how can you help? So not everyone can volunteer. I completely appreciate that, and we've all got other important things in our lives. First and foremost, just keep renewing your membership. It really does matter. Keep doing things like turning up to AGMs and voting, and spreading the word, spreading the word about the sport that we all love and what we're trying to achieve. And then finally, as you'll see through this presentation, you can volunteer in many different ways. So if you did want to volunteer, please do reach out. If you see maybe a committee that you would like to support, or a project that you'd like to work on, you'd like to help at a championship, it can be big or small. And some people will reach out to me and say, I don't want to volunteer on a committee, but if you've got a task that I could do, maybe an hour or two a month, I'd love to do that. And that really does help. So yeah, please do reach out. If there's anything that you'd like to support on, drop a message to a chair or to myself, and we'll get you involved. So we're going to jump into AGM resolutions. This is a formal process that we follow. It's going to be a bit I guess repetitive maybe, but it is really important that we follow the correct procedures. Thank you for your patience while we complete the proceedings. I also want to thank you all for taking the time to review the distributed information beforehand. We understand that some of the terminology may be confusing. Please do feel free to ask questions via the chat or unmuting when asked. At this point and during the AGM resolutions, please do feel free to raise questions when asked. Whereas later on, we'll ask you to put questions in the chat. At this point, please do jump in if you've got queries that you want to ask the team. All eligible members have been sent ballot details to vote to your registered email address in order to vote. Note, this is the only way to vote, and once your ballot is cast, it cannot be changed. And you have until 8:15 p.m. today to cast your votes. You've got about an hour if you haven't voted yet. So resolution 1 is to approve the minutes of the EGM held on August 7th, 2023, made available to all members. The 2023 Extraordinary General Meeting minutes were sent to all members, as we said, in advance of this meeting, and that was via the election runner voting service. They are also available on our governance and AGM pages on our website. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections? Okay, thank you. Resolution 2, approve the British Obstacle Sports financial accounts for the financial year 2022 to 2023. So this year we had, in summary, had income of 24,000. We had cost of sales of 25,733 and additional expenditure of £4,099. So that was actually a pre-tax operating loss of 5,784. This was planned by the board to account for the previous year where we actually made a profit of just under 10,000. And we have retained earnings now of 3,204 at the end of this financial year. And we're going to look to try and hold that as a company reserve to protect the Federation from any unforeseen costs in the future. I think you'll note as well that as we grow and mature as an organisation, our expenditure and costs are also growing. So your support as members is essential to the continued development of the sport. Financial controls and protocols remain a critical aspect of the board's responsibilities. That's only going to get more important as well. As we hopefully will be applying for funding in the near future, the kind of strictness of the financial protocols that we have to show to be able to access that funding is only going to increase the amount of processes that we put in place to ensure any income and any expenditure is managed in the right way. And we know it's important to all of us, everyone, in our home life, in our work life, etc. Managing finances is important. And hopefully you've seen the transparency that we've shared and the openness we have in terms of how the board is conducting business on your behalf. And you're always welcome to contact us if you have any questions. All our decisions stem from the mission and purpose of British Obstacle Sport, which we collectively agreed back in 2021. So the financial accounts were sent to all members of this meeting via the election runner voting service. They're also available on our governance and AGM pages on our website. Are there any questions or comments? I'm going to move on to the next resolutions. So we have the remaining resolutions, which are to vote people into the board and to the technical committees. So we have myself as chair for re-election to the board for a 2-year term, re-electing Shahedur Rohman to the British Obstacle Sports Board for a 2-year term, re-electing Oner Avara to the British Obstacle Sports Board for a 2-year term, re-electing Ali Hay to the Ninja Sport Technical Committee as chair for a 2-year term. And as chair, he will then sit on the board as well. Re-elect Beth Lodge to the Ninja Sport Technical Committee as vice chair for a 2-year term. Re-elect Henry Cookey to the Ninja Sport Technical Committee for a 2-year term. And elect Laura Baskeyfield to the Ninja Sport Technical Committee for a 2-year term. So by voting Beth, Henry, and Laura in, they can essentially act as representatives for the Ninja Sport on the board if Ali Hay is ever unavailable. So it just allows that additional support and control from a Ninja Sport perspective. And then equally, you have Becky Neal, so re-electing Becky Neal to the OCR Technical Committee as chair for a 2-year term. Becky will sit and is sitting on the board as the OCR head of OCR and the representative of the OCR Technical Committee. And then finally, re-electing Dave Peters to the OCR Technical Committee as chair for a 2-year term. Are there any questions or comments for those standing for election? Okay, I'm gonna move on to, and that actually is all the resolutions today. As mentioned, you have until 8:15 to cast your vote. Really important to cast your vote, so please do log in and submit your vote. If you're not sure how to do that, you can message, as I mentioned earlier, British Obstacle Sports in the chat. Reese will pick up and look for your details and can share a link of you to vote if you haven't done yet. We have a couple more bits of formal business. The first is the reappointment of Professor Mike Loosemore, MBE, to our board for a 2-year term as an independent non-executive director. So any non-exec directors, they are appointed by the board rather than elected in to maintain their independence. We only have one currently, and this is Mike. And this is maybe something we'll continue to monitor as we grow as an organisation, whether we add additional non-exec directors. And just like to thank Mike for his time for the last 2 years as well, and actually before. So Mike has been actually involved since 2019 with the organisation. Finally, from the official business perspective, we're going to announce our first life member. So honorary life members were introduced in the Articles of Association last year and all approved by our members. And it's available to someone or some people in the opinion of the board warrant recognition for their services to the sport and to the sport and recreation of obstacle sports. We've decided for the first life member announcement to only give this to one person. I think there's many more that could potentially be in receipt of this award. It was a very difficult decision, and I think we want to continue to ensure that the people that are added as life members, obviously it's a very important accolade that we work through the processes of how we do that. And we can add up to 4 people a year as life members. But it's with my pleasure. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's many people that are not receiving this award. We showed earlier how many people are contributing amazing things for the sport. The person that we've voted on for the first life member award, someone who's been involved with obstacle racing and British obstacle sports pretty much since the beginning. And I'm gonna jump to he doesn't know this, so hopefully he's happy. I don't think he knows this. The board would formally confirm the recognition of Sean Wild as an honorary life member of British Obstacle Sports. So a bit of background for those that don't know Sean. He completed his first obstacle race in 2014 and was a member of one of the first OCR teams, British Military Fitness. He's also competing internationally for Team UK. He was part of the team who founded British Obstacle Sports in 2019. And I think importantly, Sean's role has extended beyond just British Obstacle Sports as well. Actually, the work he's done on the global creation of the World Obstacle Coaching Programme and Technical Officials Programme has been pretty essential to what we've had in the UK. And I think hopefully you'll see later how this has then been picked up and extended in the UK by the coaching and technical officials team. We have Sean is also level 5 senior international technical official, the highest level for technical officials, and was technical official for the OCR 100 at the OCR World Championships in 2023 in Belgium. And he currently sits on 3 committees of British Obstacle Sports. So yeah, Sean, congratulations on your award. We will ensure that there's a face-to-face presentation of this award as well. But we're excited to announce this, and I think maybe if you wanted to say a quick word, if you'd like to.
I'm speechless for a change. Yeah, amazing! Thank you very much. I was sat here just making some notes, not even thinking about anything. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. It's I really don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Well, that's good.
It's great. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to work with everyone on the journey. It's been a very interesting journey so far, and hopefully that will continue.
100%. No, thank you, Sean. And completely right. It's an incredible journey we've all been on, and I'm looking forward to announcing many more life members in the years to come. And yeah, I just want to thank Sean and everyone that's contributing to what we're achieving. Official business is complete. We've got lots more to talk through. We're on slide 20 of 181, but we're making good time. So hopefully we will get through in the 2 hours. That's the aim. So I'm going to jump straight into additional business, and I'm hoping Becky has joined us, because Becky's going to cover a few slides on rules of the sport and just some updates of where we're at. And Becky, as if anyone that doesn't know, is our head of OCR, and is therefore a representative on the board and is helping on various committees as well.
Hi everyone, thank you for your time tonight. So one of the things we do as British Obstacle Sports is try and demonstrate our influence on the sport across the country, the UK. So we want to kind of demonstrate that through having influence on the rules. And so the rule book that we have is kind of continuously developing. But we kind of started it first published in February 2022. And it includes lots of different events. There's also reference some non-competitive events as well in there. So it's about fairness, safety, and consistency across racing. That's all things that we're evolving towards. But it's pretty wide-ranging as well. So the sport sort of fits into 2 disciplines. So there's ninja events. So the formats in 2023 included furthest fastest, which is a commonly seen event in ninja across the world, points-based activities or events, time trial events, head-to-head events, which you might have seen more recently on the TV, Ninja Warrior, relay, and 2 different forms of relay. So we can go into a bit more detail on all of those if you like, but each of those are already described in our current version of the rule book. And hopefully you're kind of paying attention and making sure that any tweaks that are needed or developed across the world are brought into ours at a national level, so that we can kind of execute those events fairly. In terms of the OCR formats, again, if you want to see that in a bit more detail, then you can download that rule book on our website at the moment. So currently these ones exist: the classic or cross country OCR. We have a mass start and everyone goes together. We've seen more of an evolution of short course racing, particularly this year. Time trial events where it's you against the clock. Again, head-to-head racing is quite exciting. And furthest fastest, sometimes you have lap events within that. So that's the kind of current events that we see in 2023. But we do also have members who enjoy other formats, different types of events. which don't necessarily have a home in other organisations, national governing bodies. For example, more dramatic trail events, I suppose, like this one you can see in the picture. So we've sort of suggested a process in the future to be able to incorporate any new events. We're working on some developments within the rulebook at the moment, but in 2024, if there are suggested events where they didn't already exist, for example, ones that work towards the mission of British Obstacle Sports, and then kind of meet the rest of the general rule in the rulebook. And if we can get support from our technical officials, so 75% in favour of this new event format, then that could be accepted by one of the technical committees, so either Ninja with Ali Hay, who's chairing that, or with obviously our technical committee as well. And that would be one way to get some recognition and some outline in terms of how it should be run to add to the rulebook. So the things that we're doing at the moment with the rulebook is just developing some more specific terminology. There's been, we've seen from across international events this year that very specific parts of the rulebook are vital for fair racing, but also some of the general information just needs to be current and up to date. So we're trying to kind of update some of our terminology to make sure it's kind of more understandable and consistent across different international races as well. Plus, we're going to develop some of the rules around the 100 meters, as that's kind of grown a lot this year. And we're definitely going to add a bit more detail to our para rules. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Anything to add? Okay, age group update. So continuing as we have this year, your age for age group will be the same. So your age will be classed as your age at the end of the year, so 31st of December, whereas under 18s will be age on the race day. All of that detail is also included in our selection policy for international races if you're about those rules. Yeah.
Thank you, Becky. And as we go through these slides, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Actually, Becky's going to bring those together at the end when we talk through any member questions. So yeah, feel free to share any thoughts and queries for the end. So I'm going to give an International Federation update. I think this was something that was requested as agenda item and actually something that I wanted to cover as well. It may not be familiar with everyone, but hopefully we give kind of a good overview and also and reassure you, I guess, in terms of British Obstacle Sports position and where we're going. For those that haven't seen, Modern Pentathlon have selected a short form of OCR, very ninja-esque in its length and capabilities required to just do it as their fifth discipline for their sport. And actually it was selected not too long ago in October as by the IOC, by the Olympic movement, for inclusion in the 2028 Olympics. We've been involved and supportive since the start. We were here out in the test event in Ankara, the first test event back in June 2022, to meet with modern pentathletes and to introduce them into our sport. And essentially it will be replacing horse riding from 2028 onwards in the Olympics. And as you can see here, it kind of sits as a discipline within Pentathlon GB, and British Obstacle Sports will continue with OCR and Ninja Sport. I actually, in full disclosure, if anyone doesn't know, I recently joined the Pentathlon GB board to support and help them with their integration of obstacle. And I think they're a great team and really excited to be working with them, both from a Pentathlon GB perspective and also in my role in British Obstacle Sports as well. Actually, I think we have Trafford will be joining or is joining Trafford Wilson, who's the CEO of Pentathlon GB, on this AGM as well. At a global level, I think this is the more recent news. World Obstacle, who are the International Federation for Obstacle Sports, and then UIPM, which is World Pentathlon, they are working through an integration. So there's many potential benefits for that. There's certainly some risks and some concerns that we've expressed, but that is happening at world level. We, as British Obstacle Sports and all the other national federations associated with World Obstacle will have a vote on the merger plans. So we've requested more details. It's quite, as we'll see on the next slide, it's fairly high level right now. We need to go into details of what that means. In terms of, these were the integration principles that were announced by World Obstacle and UIPM. And when you first read them, it does, there's a bit of a sticker shock, I guess, in terms of reaction. So definitely you would need more details, and we could talk through some of that on the next slide as well. So UIPM will become the world governing body for obstacle sports. There will be only one national federation per country recognised by the respective National Olympic Committee and under UIPM jurisdiction. And there's further points is in terms of the integration process between FISO, World Obstacle that is, and UIPM. So when you first see that, I guess we got quite a lot of questions and feedback around what that means for British obstacle sports. There's a few models. So the first model is we continue as we are. So we exist as independent national federations. There will be then one national federation that will vote at a world level on behalf of both organisations. The second model is a new umbrella multi-sport national federation is created that votes on behalf of British Obstacle Sports and Pentathlon GB. But both MGBs continue to work independently, sorry. And then the final one is there's a single multi-sport national federation. So these different options will continue to play out at all the countries around the world in terms of what makes the most sense for that country. Currently, from an opinion from British Obstacle Sports and Pentathlon GB, the first model is how we will be continuing to operate. All of that detail then obviously needs to be worked out in terms of how we would vote, etc. And I think as a board, it's something that we will continue to discuss and share with members in terms of what makes the most sense. But I think in terms of us as an organisation, I think 90% of what we do, we control in terms of British obstacle sports. And if you look at the list of why we exist as an organisation, 90% of what we do is here in the UK. There's these things happening at a world level, but they don't really impact us. That being said, they are still very important, and there is an impact certainly at a competitive level as well. So it's really important we pay attention to these things. But equally, the opportunity for us in the UK is to really grow obstacle sports and actually work in underrepresented groups, grassroots sports. They're the things that really are important to me. And actually where we are as an organisation in terms of funding, it's actually going to become heavily from the participation side. When you look at, this is from the Sport England United the Movement strategy, their big push is on supporting and getting more people involved in sport and activity. And I know that's why a lot of us are involved with British obstacle sports as well. So I guess there's two messages to kind of come from what's happening at an international level. Yes, it's very important. Yes, it's something that we're monitoring and we are in consultation with World Obstacle, but equally there's a lot more that we need to focus on as well. And if we spend all our time heavily focusing on what's happening at a world level, I think we could miss a trick in terms of actually what we want to achieve as an organisation as well. If people have any concerns, questions, please do reach out as well. Change is always a thing that's can be tricky, and I understand everyone's kind of concerns and nervousness as well. And I think, as we mentioned with the Constitution earlier as well, another important thing to say to you all as well is the Constitution has been designed to ensure that British obstacle sports is controlled by its members. We do have mechanisms for raising member resolutions, and we've been very open and transparent. And we collectively wrote this into our Constitution to ensure members have a voice. So you can submit resolutions if you have a concern about something that you want to raise, and they're guaranteed to be member resolutions. if you get 30 signatories as well. If you don't have 30 signatories, it's a submission to the board, and then the board will decide. If you have 30, then it's guaranteed to be voted on. And if 75% voting members vote on that proposal, it is passed as well. So I guess the message here is, yes, this is something we're monitoring. We have a really good relationship with Pentathlon GB, and we're going to continue in that spirit of developing that partnership for the betterment of both sports and to sport in general. And reach out with any questions and concerns that you may have. I'm going to jump into recognition as well, and I think this kind of ties into the next point as well of the previous slide, in terms of the focus of us as a federation. Recognition is such an important part of what we need to try and achieve, primarily because of what it could potentially unlock in terms of funding and structure for our sport. It's not a guarantee, but right now, Sport England and the UK Sports Council see obstacle sports as an extreme sport, and there's no opportunity to access that funding. We need to be recognised to access that funding and to grow as an organisation. We've had some great recognition already this year in terms of BBC article that was produced. Thank you to Becky for making that happen. And it's good to see that exposure. And I think there's something we've identified as a board that we do need some more support from a PR perspective. So if anyone has any good contacts, anyone who wants to do any pro bono work from a PR perspective, do reach out, because we need to get the word out of this great sport. So I think for anyone that isn't aware, we are submitting our application to become a recognised sport for the whole of the UK. Because our headquarters virtually is based in England, we're submitting to Sport England. And the good news is the pre-application is submitted. It's a day we pushed for a number of years, and it came in August when we got the member numbers that we needed, and then we submitted our application to Sport England. That if I'm honest, they're taking a little bit of time to come back to us. We followed up this week. I was hoping to have an update before the AGM, but I don't. So feedback is pending. But we do have a fair amount of work to do for our full application. So fingers crossed, everyone, when we submit our pre-application, when we get feedback on our pre-application, they give us the green light, and we can move forward to the full application stage. They may say, no, you're not ready for a full application. You have to do these 5 things or whatever that may be. One of the tasks they go through is to reach out to other national governing bodies that may be in a similar area. We know that our friends at Pentathlon GB have submitted their support of our application, which we're very grateful for, and hopefully any other areas or potential similar sports have done the same. So as soon as we hear news, we'll reach out and share that information with everyone. But as I said, there's a lot of work to do. So the full application covers all of the points on the right, and some of those we are at kind of green level and ready to go. Others we've got more work to do. So once we get feedback as the next step from Sport England, we have a year to submit our full application. So this is going to be a big focus for next year, and we're going to need everyone's support for that and everyone's patience as well, because there may be things that we can't do as an organisation because our focus is on our full application. We may need more support for championships, or we may not be able to do X, Y, and Z. So eyes on the prize. Full applications in progress in terms of these deliverables, and we'll be working as different committees and groups to get all of these over the line. The board met also after the 3K championships in a little hut at Forder's Gym, and we started to map out some of our strategic plan and some of our vision for the organisation. So we did spend a lot of time back in 2021 developing our mission, our purpose. So that's the kind of the building blocks we've got in place. But now, what does that mean in practice? What are the key aspects of what we're going to be trying to achieve over the next few years? How do we grow organisationally? Because it's all well and good having great ideas, but if as an organization we're not in the right position to deliver on those ideas, they're not going to happen. So all great ideas need a solid plan, and that's what we came together and looked at where we're strong, where our weaknesses are, where we can improve, and we're going to be continuing to share that information out in the coming months. Membership. This in the previous AGMs, this has been the big push. We need more members. We need more members. And if I'm honest with you, we do need more members as well, because while we're over the line from a membership perspective, we've got to that magic 1,650 members. The more members we can show is only going to strengthen our case for to become a national governing body. It's only going to strengthen our case when we speak to partners, when we try and get sponsorship, when we try and get exposure for our sport. So, do keep spreading the word, do keep encouraging people to sign up. There's many benefits, but it's great to see the growth this year. And thank you to everyone who's been a part of that. Clearly, as you can see, the growth in 2023, Spartan have been a big part of that with their support. And you can see that the spikes in growth around competitive events at Spartan and Tough Mudder. So incredibly grateful for their support and all the people behind the work since 2021, since we started this process. So I think you all know the benefits. I'm not going to go through line by line, but we've got a great membership package, and I guess it's so cheap because there's so many voluntary hours involved in putting this all together. And I do recognise, though, that some of these people on this list, we've got 1,806 active members. We've got 429 dormant members since we've started, and lapsed members 994. So that lapsed members are people that need to renew, and that their membership has expired within the last 6 months. And we're taking some steps to, I guess, encourage retention and continue to create an amazing membership platform. We recently this year signed a partnership with My Next Match as a membership platform, and agreed a number of additional features that they are going to roll out to help improve our membership. First of that is our discounts page within My Next Match. So anyone who's already on My Next Match, and that's any of Team UK that went out to Belgium, they can already access this page, and we are going to be migrating everyone onto My Next Match, hopefully before the end of the year. All the discounts will be listed on there. I think there's 4 or 5 now, but there's many more that can be added over the next week or so. Here we've got kind of Brutal, Nuclear, Milton Keynes discounts. We've got a great partnership now with Gravity Fitness, and that all of these discounts I think have been a bit hidden to members, and we've tried our best to make people aware of the members of the discounts. But I think if we can provide a page that makes it really easy to access these discounts, then I'm sure it's going to pay for itself in terms of the membership fee. So more to follow on that. As I say, anyone that was out in Belgium will already have access to My Next Match and this discount page already. The second thing, just to make it nice and easy to access your membership and share with people that you're a member of British Obstacle Sports, is a digital membership card. Now, this is not necessarily the final version. This is just a kind of example of what it might look like, but it would have when your membership been a member for, if you're a founding member, which all of you are founding members on the call today, when your membership expires. And finally, probably the best thing from an administrative perspective for all of us is My Next Match are looking at a couple of options in terms of potentially direct debit or PayPal subscription. So your membership will renew automatically rather than forgetting and not then having it being able to renew. Obviously, there will be the standard protocols in place of being notified, so you can decline it and you'll be able to opt out of this. But a lot of the time people tell me why when they haven't renewed, I just forgot, or I didn't see an email, and that's perfectly understandable. So we want to try and make it easy for everyone in terms of renewals. And then just to give you a bit of background in terms of where the money goes from your membership. So up to last week, membership was £12.50. The vast majority of your membership fee went on your member insurance. We felt that was important to offer something back and give you some base protection from a insurance perspective. We then have payment processing, which is currently 5%, which is probably a little bit too high, if I'm honest. And with the My Next Match partnership, that will reduce further from a payment processing point of view. And we have the kind of cost of running the organisation, and that comes to 12% in terms of those operating expenditures. We've been able to sponsor some organisations, we've been able to sponsor some awards, and ensure things like the Scottish OCR series can run, the UK OCR series can run in terms of our sponsorship. So that's a small contribution, and then everything else is 15%. As you can see this year, we've gone over slightly in terms of which was planned in terms of how much money we've made in terms of we made a small loss this year. That was planned, and we purposely kept our membership costs down because we wanted to encourage more and more people into the organisation. This being said, we held our 2023 membership cost increases. We held that to November 24th, but we have had to introduce those now. So they are currently current membership costs. We've gone up by £2.50 for adult, and junior prices still very amazing, £7.50, and you can sign up for 2 years for £10. And actually, last day today, if you use the code Black Friday, you can get your renewals at 15% off as well, kind of taking them back to the previous prices. The board have also voted there will be no further price increases in 2024. So yeah, we're going to try and keep these prices for as long as possible. We know times are difficult, and we really want to support as many members coming into the organisation as possible. We're now going to go into the committee update section. Hopefully, in the not too distant future, I'll stop talking and we'll let some other people have an opportunity to update you. But I always like to start these sections just to remind everyone of how we're structured. We've got a number of joint governance committees at various levels of organisation. Then it's obviously centrally to that, we have the board, and then they're supported by the two sports of Ninja Sport and OCR. And under Ninja Sport and OCR, there are independent committees that exist. As you can see here, Ninja Sport has technical and different events that run. OCR has the technical committee, it has events that run, it has the community committee, and it has the athlete council. There's then various projects that will be running that exist across both sports as well, the recognition process, the rules of the sport, and there's collaboration there and support for each other. And then to the right, the business functions, how the organisation runs, the finance, the media, the marketing, all of those things, the membership, the website, they all exist as kind of business functions without a kind of formal committee structure. Here we are as kind of committee status. There's a number of committees that are active and doing amazing things, and I'm going to be sharing more of that shortly. There's a few that are inactive and need work, and I will cover the club development, the event support and licensing, and the training centres committees. That things are happening in terms of affiliation, but we need to develop that committee structure and get going on those entities. And we share this because it's important to reflect on where we are and where we want to get to. And it's okay to share things that aren't working as well as we want them to, and where we need to progress. That's completely fine. But as you'll see shortly, the work of the committees has been amazing, and it's incredible to see how far we've come. Subject to election, always important just to, I won't go for everyone here because we talked about earlier, but here is your board, and it's been a pleasure to chair the board. We're regularly talking on our communication channel Slack, and then we have regular board meetings. As we saw earlier, we're kind of meeting as much as we can now face to face as well. Yeah, we affiliate up then to European Obstacle Sports Federation and World Obstacle, and we actually have a few people that are representing us within those organisations as well. We referenced Sean earlier and his role at World Obstacle. He currently sits on the Technical Officials Committee and also Coach Development Lead at European Sports Federation. And we also have Jamie, who is just recently volunteered for the organising committee for Para as well, and he's heavily involved in all things Para, both in the UK and a European and world level as well. And then it's an opportunity to give thanks also to everyone who's no longer working on a committee. It is a big commitment for people, and it's not something you can always do. And Lindsay and Henry referenced there; they're still very much involved in British Obstacle Sports. They're not getting away just yet, but they've resigned from a committee each on their end. But yeah, massive thank you to everyone on this list who supported us. And people are going to come and go. People are going to be busy in their personal lives. They're going to say, actually, no, I've got to step down from my role, and maybe they'll come back in a year to come. And that's amazing. We're grateful for everyone who offers, whether it be an hour or 100 hours of time. So thank you to all the committee members that have supported us so far, and who continue to do so. And we're going to hear from one of them now in Ali Hay. And Ali is going to give you an update on Ninja Sport and all the work that's been done there.
Good evening, everybody. It's me again, Ali Hay, the chair and the head of Ninja Sport. Just want to say a quick congratulations to Sean there. Great achievement there, mate. Well deserved. So yeah, as James was saying there, a lot of ins and outs, and obviously we've got a lot of those cross committees where there's a lot of things like coaching, development, etc. As you've seen listed on the left-hand side of your screen previously. A lot of the committees obviously are focusing up on special parts of that. So our Ninja Sport technical committee's had some changes this year. Current committee members, there's myself there as the chair. We have Beth Lodge as the vice chair. We do have Henry, Cookey, Laura Baskeyfield, and Shahedur, Rohman. These are our main members, active members currently. So quick call to arms. So like I said, there's been a lot of shuffling going around. People specialise in certain fields as we've all settled into positions over the years, and certainly as people have discovered their specialties and their talents and also their passions. We do this for passion. We do this because we love it, and it is important to make sure if you're going to do voluntary work, you're at least enjoying it, and it's something you want to really help and heavily kind of influence if you can. So with that said, if there's anybody that sees any of these following slides that feels like they can maybe get involved, our technical committee could do with beefing up in the ranks a bit again, and it'd be great to get some new guys on board, bring some new perspectives to the field. So this year there was a lot happening. I feel like this year especially was the year of those international athletes, with 100-meter obstacle being massive. Of course, there was a lot more events for our athletes to get out, and having a full team this year was an amazing thing. We had the Ninja World Cup in Poland. There was Overground in Basel, the Ninja Warrior in Munich, and the Stunt Work in Snedden, which is also near Munich, with a lot of our team out there representing with some amazing results, really pushing their boundaries, which was great for the Ninja Technical Committee to have that representation, and BOS to be represented on a big stage like that with such talented athletes and lots of young guys coming up as well, which is great. So this year as well, we held the first Ninja Sport UK League. Ninja Sport UK is an affiliated organisation within BOS, and it acts separately but shares the interests of grassroots ninja all the way up. And this year we had the first official league, which we held various competitions at Ninja Warrior UK Gloucester, Ultimate Ninja, HC Fit in Liverpool, and Overground, the OTG training centre, and we had great results. We actually ended up having 7 competitions this year. We had planned on managing to get 4 within the league structure. So 7 was great news, and it's something that the sport's been much needed. As we've seen there, it was amber light for the full application. So being able to get that to the green light with a bigger 2024 is very much on the agenda, and the support of the BOS Technical Committee under Ninja. Obviously, this year we've seen there was a massive lack of Ninja Warrior UK hype on the TV, with just the repeats running again and again. This show is massive budget, and the cost of it last year was huge. It did go actually quite well, considering the ratings were lower than they'd hoped. They still bucked the average TV trend, which was on a year-on-year decline of around 33%. It managed to actually stay above that by only dropping around 13% on average. So they were quite happy with that result. It's still in talks whether they're going to do this on like a biannual basis, simply because the amount of money it costs, like I said, to host the show, or potentially relicensing via the format owner TBS. in Japan to a new network. So we shall be watching that space. Of course, we all hope it comes back. It sheds a really massive light on us and really gets the fans and, of course, the spectator side of it in our favour. The adventure parks, the affiliation process, we've got a lot of these adventure parks now really interested in hosting competitions. This year was about getting a league functioning and being able to cast light on this so that centres could look and go, well, we'd like to get involved. And we say, that's great, we'll get you involved, but there is an affiliation process through our national federation, of course, BOS. And the technical committee would then vet each facility on, you know, all the affiliation process that we have currently, which you can all get access to if you'd like to. But this year we managed to get Milton Keynes sponsor the Junior Champs, which was a massive thing. It's really important for these younger championships to be invested in. So it's great for Ninja Warrior UK Adventure Milton Keynes. And after the awards this weekend for the Ninja Sport UK Awards, we've actually managed to get a number of other adventure parks on that affiliation journey, which is great news. The British Ninja Championship, so this is the real crown in the ninja calendar. It's coming up this weekend, as James said earlier. It's being hosted by HC Fit Ninja Training in Liverpool. Henry Cookey, the man himself, taking on the massive task of organising this. It is a 3-stage for this format competition. You've seen the structure earlier on the different discipline types within Ninja, and again, that is December 3rd. Massive props. Last year, the event went really well. We had, I think, nearly 50 competitors, and at a really high level as well. It's open to all abilities. You'll find actually the earlier stages in the 3-stage is doable for a number of athletes, and it's a great way to get involved and just be part of the community. But it's a big calendar event for everybody, and it'll be hosted this Sunday, 3rd. So 2024 is going to be massive. There was a lot of cross-committee work going on with the coaching, etc., getting the league functioning, widening the reach with the affiliation and trying to get these guys on board. That's all started kind of culminating towards this winter period here, which we should start seeing coming in around the end of winter into the springtime. We're already out there kind of gathering the calendar for obviously the competitions at these venues. But looking at 2024 and our ambition for it, of course, to submit the full UK Sports Council application. Ninja has a number of elements in there, specifically within the technical committee, that we'll be focusing on and really getting to grips with. Working with organisers to run more junior competitions. We already have a couple near enough lined up. We're just locking in dates for junior comps, which again is something within Ninja we've been really trying to do. Getting these adventure parks on side is a big part of that process. And now that's starting to finally bear fruit. We'll see a lot more of that this year. The British Ninja Championships, again, will be, of course, hosting again next year. But this time we'd also like to run the British Ninja Championships Junior alongside, and especially off the back of having more junior competitions and raising the scene with the younger ones. Developing the safety standards across facilities. I sit on the ASTM board in the United States, which is basically around any form of facility that has any specialty in leisure, Ninja being one of those. And we're basically working side by side from here to there within the committee and looking at how do we raise the safety standards without inhibiting growth, especially if we're looking down the line. There's going to have to be a huge structure and a lot of text for things like the 100-meter obstacle race to adopt, so things are done properly, done safely. We find that's really important, and it's a big thing we've been working on, but we're getting there now. We're starting to see results with that. Of course, we're working with Ninja Sport UK to support their league, making sure that as a technical committee, we look at how do we help them develop that. There's a lot of us that share positions in Ninja Sport UK, and it's important to make sure the rest of the guys within that committee have our support so we can help that grow. And of course, building the athlete progression and development. We're seeing so many of our Ninja athletes being really effective at the 100-meter obstacle, and it's important to make sure that we look at avenues for them to develop, as well as welcoming in modern pentathlete and helping them develop on their journey. So we're looking at that this year as like a real focus point for us. And of course, that kind of rolls on with supporting Pentathlon GB with that integration and making sure that we can really assist with that, getting the right people to the right places and vice versa. On that front is the real key there. And assisting access to equipment and facilities is something that we're really looking at having to shed light on. Within the UK, there's actually a lot more facilities than you'd think where you can practice ninja. It's just getting the information out there, and also to the right equipment, where you can buy home training equipment, where you can get access to really good high level equipment if you need it, so that we can kind of develop things, you know, in a backyard sense as well, and really invest in that grassroots knowledge. It's something that I think we've kind of maybe overlooked to date, and it's something we'd like to kind of assist in. Of course, like I mentioned there, affiliating more locations to the BOS, which is super important to us, and to work with the coach and technical officials development, which has been massive this year. Our team, the coaching and technical officials development teams, have been working really hard on making it, I guess, amending what they see they need to, and getting themselves qualified and getting the text exactly where it needs to be, and getting more people through it so we can actually get more coaches to the right places. So this is a little bit of a new one, and it's very, of course, on topic at the minute. It's something that we needed to get a little bit of a handle on so we could help it develop without us getting too locked into, you know, who can do this, who can do that, and where it should be represented. The 100-meter technical subcommittee is now forming as a independent structure. Well, it's not an independent structure, it's a subcommittee within the main structure that works mainly and entirely for the 100-meter obstacle race. You can see here there's a lot of synergy between Ninja Sport and OCR. Ninja's first venture into the Olympics was actually submitted by Japan over a decade ago. It had a very similar structure to the 100-meter that we're seeing now rolling out under Modern Pent. And that's super exciting because it's something that we already have a massive handle on. The side-by-side racing and the sprint format is something that Ninja Sport specializes in. But OCR has so many elements there that are super unique to it as well. And we felt the best way to do this was to get shared knowledge, shared just expertise, and get a real mix here so we could kind of make a cross subcommittee where we can all kind of help out, yet not let it take away from the specific sports. We feel that if OCR was to host it, or Ninja Technical was to host it, there's a lot of work to go into the 100-meter obstacle, and should that have happened, we believe that it was more likely that the other disciplines within those sports would more likely just lose a little bit out, and obviously a little bit less focus. So by doing this, having the subcommittee, we can really help, and it means we can work with Modern Pent. We can be super specific with what we're working with, which we think is the best idea. The 100-meter technical subcommittee members are currently myself. We have, of course, Sean Wild there. We have Becky Neal. We have Laura Baskeyfield, and we have James Burton on there. That's our subcommittee members for now. It's certainly something I'm sure we'll get a lot of work coming through the door very shortly. So we'll see how that goes, and if we need to maybe beef that up, we'll maybe call a little bit out there for some more aid. But at the minute, that's your subcommittee members. The 100-meter national trials in 2023, we had a number of them. We had it in Ninja Warrior UK Gloucester. It went very, very well. We had it at Tartan Warrior, and we had the PT Barn. They've all been excellent hosts for the 100-meter national trials in 2023. It was a real success, and it gave everybody a flavour, and I think certainly a lot of people the bug on what was to come. But yeah, really exciting. It was great to be a part of that. I'm just not used to running in the rain, that's for sure. And of course, the 100-meter national team this year was superb, like incredibly impressive. If any of you are in that chat, you'll just see how much it was constantly popping off. It was actually super impressive how well conducted and organised it was this year. 8 elite athletes at the OCR European Championships in Hungary. We had 17 age group athletes and 1 para athlete, which is massive representation. We had the FISO OCR World Championships in Belgium again. 10 elite athletes and 7 age group athletes. Phone call. Tommy Matthews and Beth Lodge were the highest placed athletes at both championships for us, which was amazing. Both going to be massive names in the sport. I'm confident of it. The age group podiums at World as well. We had Oliver Addy. He won the youth male gold for his Baskeyfield. She won the junior female silver. Jack Andrews, the junior male gold, and Dean Cheatham, the masters male, which was, again, really punching for Team GB there, which was just a very proud moment, I think, for all of us on the board when we're looking at the athletes. And the records for the OCR 100 Elite National Records with Beth Lodge. These are our national record holders right here, 56 seconds, 0.77, and then Tommy Matthews at 30.43 seconds, which is just class. When you watch these races, they're super impressive. Yeah, just very, very proud of the guys. And the age group and para-national records, of course, as well. A number of them on the screen there. Feast your eyes on it. I'm not going to try and run through everybody there because my eyes are failing me at this point in the night. And of course, coming up very shortly, just after the turn of the new year, we have the British OCR 100 metre Championship, January 14th, 2024. The pre-registration is obviously already out, so please get yourself pre-registered. It's going to be a massive event, and if you haven't really been a part of this yet, or maybe you've thought about it, or maybe haven't quite made the transition or attempted to just give it a shot, this is your opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun, whether you go as a spectator, just to support, however you go, but definitely make sure you get yourself pre-registered and get yourself there.
Amazing. Thanks so much for the updates, Alan. I think, yeah, it's a good evolution of the committee structure to bring in that subcommittee, because as you showed, that the two, it's that real synergy between the two sports. So it's good to have that shared support for it. Now I'm going to hand to Becky, as I introduced earlier, as our head of OCR.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. So first of all, I'd like to just let everyone know who is on the technical committee, and it'll come from the screen in a second. I'm the chair, but we've had 11 meetings this year. We've got another one scheduled, so we have monthly meetings as well as working hard behind the scenes, developing policies and communicating regularly, making decisions. But we've got Dave Peters, who's vice chair, Megan Tranter, Graham Roberts, Karen McQuarrie, Fabian Year, and James Burton. I'd like to thank everybody so much for their contributions as a chair, but also as an athlete and a member. I think we've come a long way in the last 12 months. If you just reflect where we were a year ago in terms of international racing, national events, different selection policies and things, there's been a lot of change. And it's mostly a thank you to these people and Linda Johnson as well. Special thanks to Graham, he's done other things as well. So as part of this, we've kind of supported some competitive racing. So thank you to Alan Ian at UK OCR, who's been running the UK OCR series for the last 2 years. British Obstacle Sports supports that series and kind of contribute to some of the decision making, as well as ensuring that everybody gets on board with targeting the events, that they're good for growing the sport, as well as having a fair and the right sort of level of competition. So same with the Scottish OCR series, and Lindsay's been supporting that mostly. Thank you very much. But we've been trying to use the rule book, or the events that have been included in those events are aligned to our rule book. And thank you to the technical officials as well. Some people have been acting as head officials as part of those events. We've been trying to introduce processes like the rule books that go out before about the specific event, just to improve the experience really for everybody competing and volunteering on the day, and hopefully wanting to return to those events. Some of the events for next year have been announced. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So we did actually host not the very first national championships. Last year we had the junior national championships, but this year we had the very first senior national championships at the 12K distance, hosted by Spartan Race. So that was a really excellent and a really big achievement. This is the first time that British Obstacle Sports has sanctioned this event. So it's a really massive step forwards for the community. I think, the event rating there, 8.53, that really is kind of solid. That's really excellent. I think everyone was really appreciative of the scale of the event. It was a really nice way to celebrate everyone's achievement, both elite age group, junior and para athletes were celebrated there with different prizes. A net promoter score, so that's talking about whether or not you were likely to kind of recommend it. of 65. So we've got a little bit of growth to do there, and we've got some sort of ideas about how we can develop that. But it's really impressive that we had 160 athletes take part competitively for that event. And of course, there was sort of open ways as well for you to experience the course. So it wasn't a Spartan race exactly, it was a kind of an update on it or a development of it. And we're looking again to grow that next year. As well as that, we had the very first British OCR 3K Championships. So this was only a couple of weeks ago, hosted by Forders Gym. Thank you for them to basically building a new course to help develop this kind of format of racing. So 68 athletes competed on a wet November morning. So that's really impressive. And like a really excellent net promoter score. So people are very keen to kind of recommend that again. And the event rating was also very high, 8.4. So pretty excited to see that develop. We are going to be looking to have that again next year. Well, details are kind of still to be developed. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to move forward. We have those levels of events at international level as well. So also at both those events, the 12K and 3K, we had our very first para competitions. And we had more competitors than podium winners. So it was a competitive event, very exciting. Jamie Gain, who you can see at the top of the podium there, is joining our technical committee. He's had to leave just this evening. So he's going to be kind of contributing more and more to that. And he has been doing that at European level as well in terms of the rules and the categorization and different things as well. So very excited for that to grow. We've had new athletes come join us for all of those events. As well as travelling internationally as well to represent the UK at the World Obstacle Championships. Very exciting. So one of the new things that happened this year was a pretty thorough process or system put in place to select a national team. So this is a team, in fact, we had over 100 people go to Belgium for the OCR World Championships run by World Obstacle. And to get to that point, all these people were selected, and we have different processes to get there, including national trials, which were certain handpicked events to kind of target people run competitively head-to-head to earn their spots, both at age group and elite level. We had the 100-meter national trials back in the start of the year, followed by Tartan Warrior. Also had another 100-meter opportunity there in March, and then again later on, I think, May time for the PT bar 100 meters, so you could earn your place through those events, as well as a 3K place through the Nuts Challenge 3K that was earlier on in the year in springtime. Also the Tartan Warrior 3K, which was earlier on in about March time. And then the selection event for the national trial was the Challenge Cup for the 12K. So people who succeeded in those events earned a spot. And there's lots of other qualification events as well where you could perform and apply to British Obstacle Sports to be considered by the selection committee for one of the spaces available to represent the UK internationally. Another new thing that we did this year for the very first time was have a core national team. So for international events, a group of people, a small team who were working hard behind the scenes to ensure everything was kind of running smoothly for the athletes so they could compete their best. So this year that was made up of a team manager, which was Katie Joyce. She put a lot of effort in with all the logistics, making sure everyone was registered, and we had to do things like complete the water certification and everything. So it was a big team effort to kind of get there, but led very expertly by Katie. Dave Peters, who is vice chair of this committee, is also our national coach, who helped all the athletes at the international championships, at the World Championships at Belgium. Dean Johnson was voted in by the selection committee and was the captain of the UK team for European and World Cup Championships, and I was the vice captain. So hopefully that team of people helped, or as a member you felt you were supported and able to compete your best at those international competitions if you attended. And that's something we're looking to kind of keep moving in the future and grow. We've reflected on what went well, what didn't go well at the championships. We even considered different aspects of values and personalities, which helped us kind of prepare a way to cover the team. I think, yeah, this is you can't see the detail probably, but these are the actual medal tables from the World Championships in Belgium. And if you take all the medals in together, the UK was ranked third. So we had the third highest number of medal counts across all of the countries that took part in the World Obstacle Championships, which was seriously impressive. I think we definitely had one of the largest squads. You could see that, you could feel it when you're there. Hopefully everybody felt part of a community and were proud to represent their country. I'm really proud and impressed that did transfer into the medal scores. Once you rank it by gold medals, we're at 8, which is a really successful place to be. So congratulations to all of those athletes, especially the medal winners, for working so hard on that. Okay, so 2024, there's a few things that we've got our eyes set on. Continue to support those different event formats that I mentioned earlier in the rule book, but also we're looking to support athletes in terms of growth, both from a youth level, but kind of leading that on to a more elite focus as they grow older. I think Dawn's going to talk about that a bit later. Ultimately, the objectives of the national team and things is to give opportunities to everybody, but also to kind of progress the elite competition and kind of see that reflected in the medals table. That's what's kind of set out in our selection policy, what we're aiming to do with all of these different strategies. So hopefully you've seen that there's some new things that are going to be happening next year as well. So we're building on with the success of the Scottish series and the UKCR series. And British Obstacle Sports are going to be supporting or running a UK UCI Endurance League. So if you feel that you're more of a longer racer and you haven't had the opportunity to kind of contribute or take part in this series so far, this will be for you. So the confirmed race calendar is there. There's Tough Mudder Infinity, Europe's Tough Mudder, Nuclear Races Oblivion Max, and Spartan Race, the Ultra. So all of those are longer than the traditional races that we see in the UKCR series. There's some kind of criteria that the events will need to meet for them. We're going to be having our 24 national championships, again hosted by Spartan Race, slightly earlier in the year next year. You can purchase tickets already for that. So hopefully we'll see all of those people returning again and hopefully more. So very exciting. And the key thing, or the kind of changes that are happening here, is we're going to be having our junior and our senior national championships at the same weekend. You'll be able to represent the UK as well internationally. That will be at the European Championships in Italy, which has been announced now in June, or at the World Championships in Costa Rica slightly later on, the World's Toughest Mudder, or Spartan Race, the World Championships. So there's going to be a few, the selection policy for how you get to there has already been published. So that was published straight after the World Championships this year, so back in October. And you'll notice that there's some kind of key changes. I would encourage everybody to actually read the details of the policy. It's got deadline dates in there. It's got lists of all the races and where you need to place for automatic selection. One of the kind of key things that's changed this year is that you actually need to qualify for the short course to be in with the kind of opportunity of representing the country. So through qualifying events, that is. So we are working on a 3K series, or it's being run. We're looking at, there's some of the events there. So you can go to the website and look at these events, and they're split into the different events. So 100 meters, 3K, 12K, and there also will be processes for the team. One thing we're looking to do is develop the national team kits. I think that was based on feedback this year. Everyone was hoping that we're going to be able to kind of feel like a team next year and feel comfortable in the kit that we're competing in. So that's something that we're looking to develop. If you would like to be involved with that, then please do let us know.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think it's another one of those tasks that take a lot of time. So we do need, if we have any volunteers from a national team kit perspective. We've had a great community kit the last few years, but I know it's want to continue to evolve that. Yeah, and I'll continue, Becky, with the OCR National Athlete Council.
So we have a group of athletes who have all represented the UK internationally, and they've all been successful internationally. So these people who are members, they've either come top 10 at the world or European level, or they've won our national championships as well. So currently that's a group of people who have all been successful at those criteria. So congratulations to them. And this is what this council does essentially, is provides feedback on any queries or decisions that the technical committee are considering for things like policies and processes and selection. So it's really useful to be able to have that insight, especially from these athletes who've experienced success at an international level, and understand the competition at those events, and how we should be preparing our athletes at our home events, as well as through our selection policies, to perform best and reach our main goals.
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, I think to add to, we've got a pretty full athlete council, which is great to see, but we will rotate people through that. So we'd like to see many more athletes hit the level required to kind of earn a place on the athlete council, and do appreciate everyone's time contributing, and what do we want to get everyone's input, and it's great to get kind of the top athletes in the country feeding into what we're doing. And I think the other thing I wanted to mention is just how we're continuing to evolve the selection process. You mentioned that now you have to qualify, and it seems obvious, but previously you could do a 15k race and qualify for a 3k race. But now we've introduced that if you're going to do a short course, you need to qualify in the short course format. And it's just, we're already seeing the benefit of that play out with 3k champs happening, and multiple short course distances over the year. So hopefully we will see our athletes get better and better at the short course. So I'm going to talk I think I've got a few sections here just to give you an update on some of the different things that are happening. I think these are areas in 2024 that I think need continued focus, and I think this is where that they're quite administrative heavy now, because we've created the foundations, but we need to continue to invest time in supporting them. And one of that, and it's critical obviously, because without events, none of us can get out and compete and have fun at different events around the country. So the event support and licensing committee, the three fundamental part to that is engagement with events, how we can help, how we can support, and I do a lot of this, I guess, in my role, speaking with Mud Monsters today, and great that they're going to be coming on board and being licensed by British Obstacle Sports, and then supporting those events. So this year, for example, we helped a new event, Diablo's Challenge, just with questions, as a completely new event in the sport, and helped with their first event. And then also community reassurance, which I think is becoming less of a problem now. We're back in 2015, 2016, there were a lot of events coming and going, 2017, 2018, and sometimes they came and go a bit negatively for the community. So our licensing program is really to reassure the community that these are trusted events that you can get behind and support. And we've been supporting events in multiple ways as well throughout the year. And the team have talked about the different series and leagues that we support. And we're working very closely with Towergate, our insurance broker partner, on how we can continue to help events get insurance at good value, because there is a negative perception around obstacle sports from an insurance perspective that we need to fight. And UKOCR and Ninja Sport UK are going to talk about their awards later as well, and how we've been supporting them. And I'll share the Mud newsletter that goes out, and I really want to get that out to more and more people, because that's a great way for people that are kind of fairly new, maybe don't want to commit to membership, to talk to them about the sport overall and the different events that are happening. And when we talk, Wendy talks about the community committee. You can talk about some of the great work we've done there to bring people into the Share the Mud newsletter and get that out to more people. We have done quite a lot of work this year on our website. We've had 27,000 views of events on BritishObstacleSport.org. I wanted to achieve more, if I was honest, this year, but it's still great progress. And that's people viewing individual events, viewing our hub page, viewing our different series and things. So we're getting that exposure to the different events. And as the domain grows, I'm only going to expect to see that grow from a numbers perspective as well. So if you ever want to find a licensed event, all our licensed events are on our website, and we are continuing to update. We're going through licensing things for 2024, so that will get more and more updates on there as well. Yeah, and you'll see all the individual pages for all the different events, and we're going to build out different category pages on that as well. In 2024 as well, we're working with a partner to introduce a map function as well. So it'll just be a really easy way of finding events around the country. So stay tuned for that. Equally, we want to continue to get the exposure out there. We try and put as much as we can out on British Obstacle Sports, but there's more I'm sure we can do. So as members, do share with us things that you're seeing, tag events, any licensed events or training centres we'll reshare, and we'll put that exposure out there. And equally, if anyone's got any social media experience and wants to get involved and support, we've had some great help this year from Megan Tranter, from Laura as well, Laura and Lindsay on the Ninja side too. So really want to continue to get that exposure out onto British Obstacle Sports, all the different great events that are around the country. And then, as I mentioned, we've got a licensing and affiliation panel. So all of our events that you see on our website, they have been checked by this team, and it's I'd say it's not complete 100% lengthy 4-week process that we're reviewing events, but we wanted to give some level of reassurance that these events have risk assessments, these events have insurance, they are sound financially. They've got the right safeguarding in place, and they're companies that you should go out and support and go and enjoy their races and events. So this team review every event that comes through, and then they license those events, and then they add it to our website. We've seen that grow in terms of our licensing from the early stage of 2021 through to having 72 licensed events in 2023. Oh. Yeah, and some great events as well across the country that we've been able to support, and really excited to see this continue. And what we also want to try and do moving into 2024 is kind of introduce some British Obstacle Sports awards as well to promote these events. So we are going to have a best license event for 2023. So stay tuned for that, and that will be something that only members can vote on. So we get a members vote for the best event in 2023. Just finally, before I leave this, we know that times are difficult for all of us. So equally, that comes through to events as well. There is a real cost of living crisis. We know we hear it, but it's true. And it is difficult for events to put on great events that are also affordable for us as participants as well. So we do have a role there. It's not an easy one to solve, but as a governing body, we want to try and support events. And if events have any ideas, we know there's been some questions around how we can help from an insurance perspective, and that is something that we're trying to tackle in 2024 as well, with our support from Towergate, and then I'm sure from events out there as well. Jumping into training centres, we've continued the affiliation program again. We really want to push this as well. There's so many more training centres in this, and great that Ali was referencing that we're going to have some more ninja parks affiliating in 2024. So this year we affiliated 4 more centres, and they're kind of marked in red. So the Axis Centre, Aberdeen Way in Scotland, 5S Fitness, which is an interesting one because 5S Fitness is a traditional gym with some monkey bars, but it's like, how can we use kind of all the different facilities are out there? It doesn't have to be a full-on ninja gym or a full OCR outdoor venue. There's so many ways to train and participate in obstacle sports, and how can we use different facilities? So it'll be a good case study with what we can do and working with 5S Fitness. And then finally, the obstacle gym in Tamworth, that's just recently been affiliated, and they're going to be hosting an event March 30th next year, and a great facility, quite kind of Spartan heavy in terms of obstacle design, real traditional kind of obstacle course. So great to have Griff and Trez and their centre affiliated. And Ninja Warrior UK Gloucester, yeah, didn't want to miss that one. That's they had the time trials as well as and the 100-meter event earlier in the year. So if your training centre isn't affiliated, we'd love to get them affiliated in sport. It's completely free to do. Once they've gone through this process, it allows us to promote and support them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's required for all training centres and activity parks. They have all of those elements. They can be affiliated. If you want to be a training centre and offer training programs, you have to deliver 7 and 8, and you have to have certified boss coaches and training programs as well that are being offered. And the last committee, the club development committee. So again, these are the 3 committees that I think is a real project to find that administrative processes and committee structure to redevelop in 2024, but they continue to operate. And we've affiliated Raw Fit now. So we've had our second affiliated club. So we have Nuclear Phoenix and Raw Fit, and we'd love to welcome more affiliated clubs. And this will become more important because affiliated clubs, it's a very basic affiliation process, but again, completely free. But there's 2 fundamental elements to this. One is there's a code of conduct in place, which is really important. And then the second part, if they're using club coaches, they are certified. So we know they've got insurance, they've done all the first aid, so we can trust the kind of coaching processes there. And then finally, welfare officers or safeguarding leads for any safeguarding issues. Really important that we have that structure in place to protect all our members and the community as a whole. So yeah, these are our affiliation requirements. We'd love for more clubs to come on board, completely free to do, and yeah, it is going to become more important. So we really encourage all clubs in 2024 to get involved with the affiliation program. I'm going to pass now to Wendy. If anyone doesn't know Wendy Brothers, she is an amazing member of the community, and it's pretty fitting that she is our community OCR community committee chair as well. So I'm going to hand over to Wendy.
Hello, thank you very much for that introduction. And we've covered quite a few of the things I was looking at, so I'm going to try to keep this fairly brief. First of all, a huge welcome to our new committee members. We really wanted to bring in people from various areas of the community, and we're very thankful that Katie Joyce, Wayne King, Emily Spain, Tim Crangle and Lindsay Young have joined us. So thank you very much for that. Can you turn that down? So the main thing that we have focused on this year has been the the British Obstacle Sports stand, which has been a really big part of what we've been doing this year. It's required a lot of volunteer time and effort to make this successful, and huge thanks to a lot of people who have contributed. We've actually had 34 people who have put in 4 hours or more and have had their tickets for the Ultimate Season Pass. The stand has provided information for people coming in. We've done a lot of work with Share the Mud. We've had people who've created a QR code so that we can share the mud more effectively, and we've had some amazing volunteers who've gone into crowds and especially queues. People queuing are a wonderful place to find new people, to encourage them to sign up for our newsletter. The volunteers have also helped with t-shirts, with bibs, being a face of OCR, and generally just being a really good place to find out new information and spread the information about what's going on in the OCR. We are always looking for helpers. If anyone has time and is able to volunteer even an hour, it's really, really appreciated. We really do need more volunteers to make a great big success of the stand, and that's definitely part of our plans for going forward. Part of the role of the engagement, it is different things going on with the different communities, and also we've done quite a bit with the T-shirts, which promote British Obstacle stands. That's been really helpful, having the T-shirts at the world events and the European events. Really big part of promoting British Obstacle Sports this year. We've also been able to train quite a lot of volunteers, so that is an excellent part of what we've been doing. This is in addition to the technical officers. This is a level 1 volunteer, and that has been done by volunteers as well. So thank you particularly to Lindsay and to Mike, I think, who've led most of the courses that we've had on that. Weekend Warriors, well done Tim Crangle, Kyra Cushway, James Burton, Adam Wakeling, Dylan Darby, Matthew Kirk, Christopher Hill, Emma Kirkwood, Karen Macquarie, Sophia Walker, and there are some others I think still to come. Weekend Warriors are awarded for people who have attended at least 8 different races or venues in different areas or different brands. So people who really do stand out as representing OCR around the country. Looking forward, moving on. We're, as part of what we're trying to do as a community committee, is we're trying to represent all areas of UK, and we're looking now for Northern England OCR and Welsh obstacle sports, looking for volunteers to join to help get those set up. We've got good representation in Scotland and Southern England, but it would be really nice to extend that and have a wider representation around the whole of the UK. And then moving on to where we're moving on. So we're really trying to develop obstacle sports in all the forms, and we're trying with the stand, we want to have the 10 events at least where we have a stand and represent OCR. So looking forward, we really are looking for volunteers to assist with the stand, which will help with all of the other things that we're trying to move forward. And I think that is me. I'm really look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, and you've done a great job working with the committee to develop that stand. It does really help, and it's a great opportunity for people that are new to the sport to meet someone, and also it's always helpful to give people out merchandise, and we've used it in various different ways and run little competitions at events. It's a great focal community point. So thank you for everything that you've done there.
Thank you.
I'm now gonna hand over to Harsha, who is our Sustainability Committee Chair, and she's picked up a few things this year, kind of getting things started.
Also, our kids have just come home, so James, you may need to go and open the door. We've been waiting for leaving from, and then I'm knocking on the door. So hello everybody, my name's Harsha Burton. I am the chair of the Sustainability Committee, and these are my other fellow Sustainability Committee members. So Julie, James, Laura. This is an important topic for all of us as we all spend time outside racing and training. So as an organisation, we're committed to contributing to achieve a net zero emissions world. So next year, our committee will focus our priorities in 2 key areas. So there's a number of ideas and initiatives we've got. We'd like to look at best practices for events and facilities and raising awareness and ideas for our participants. So we'll be setting up a number of initiatives, looking at setting up a sustainability guide for events and race directors to share some of these best practices. So thinking about single-use plastic, using reusable and recyclable materials. Also, I know some races charge for like car parking, so is there opportunities to get discounts for car sharing? We know also on courses a lot of litters left, kind of drinks bottles, gels, wrappers. So another idea potentially to look at a volunteer wave to run the last wave of the course, do a litter pick. Also want to look at raising awareness and ideas for participants and our members and supporters. So I know many of you want to be more environmentally friendly, so we're pulling together some ideas for you to support you, looking at sustainable brands, thinking of ways we can recycle our kit, reusing our kit. I know kit's quite expensive, so thinking of ways we can share, members can share kit. Again, with car sharing, is there an opportunity for our community to set up car sharing schemes? So we know that will kind of save on our environmental impact and also on costs. So we'll be doing some work to share kind of knowledge, awareness on this topic. So keep an eye out on our communication channels. And yeah, if this is a topic that you're interested in and if you have any ideas, please do get in touch. But yeah, we're working through some of these initiatives in the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsha. Yeah, and this is kind of all started this year in terms of the committee, and I think the more it will snowball as one thing leads to another, more people get involved. So no, thank you for taking the lead this year. And talking of committees kind of getting started and going, youth engagement is clearly a very important part of why we exist, and it's one of the reasons why we purposely went with the British OCR Junior Championship as our first national championships. We also recognise there's a lot more work we need to do, and it's a very important area. So really grateful for all the committee's work, and also I just want to call out Dawn, who's joined our committee very recently and has put a lot of work in to get us going as vice chair and coordinator for the committee. So I'm now going to pass to Dawn to talk through what the Youth Engagement Committee has been doing.
Thanks, James. So yeah, as James said, I've recently come on board as part of the Youth Engagement Committee. To other committee members that are here, we've got Dave Peters, so I'm standing in for Dave today, who unfortunately can't be with us. And then we've got James, Gemma and Lindsay, who've been on the committee for a little while and have got a huge amount of knowledge and experience to help really sort of help drive forward the youth engagement. And one of the key areas in terms of the youth engagement and the things that we really need to focus on first and foremost is the safeguarding of everybody involved, particularly children. And when we refer to children within the Youth Engagement Committee, we're looking at everybody under the age of 18. So it's not just the little is, and it's really important as a national governing body that we ensure that the welfare of all children is taken into very serious consideration. So we've put together a safeguarding policy which is just being ratified and agreed, and that will be available for everybody to view. I think it's going to be uploaded to the website. It's really, really important, whether you're a parent, whether you're a coach, or a volunteer, or just somebody actively involved in the community. It's really important to make yourself aware of that safeguarding policy. So once it's up online, have a little look, have a read through, and the other things we're looking to develop in addition to that safeguarding policy is some guidelines around anti-bullying and also cyber guidance, as more and more of our children are accessing social media and websites, we felt it's very, very important to have some guidance in and around those two areas as well. So looking at our junior champs, we had our second junior champs this year, hosted by Swanbourne. 20% increase on numbers of children. I think for all those that were there and for all those that were involved in October, it was great to see such a huge number of children out in the non-competitive wave. I think it's very easy to just focus around the competitive children sometimes. And the youth engagement is all about participation as much as it is competition. So to see quite so many numbers out in that first wave, and many of them taking on 2 laps as well, it was phenomenal to see. Another huge thank you to all the volunteers. 43% increase. We had 50 volunteers out on course, out at the event. That's absolutely phenomenal. It's really great to see the number of people coming out to support the kids. The event rating 8.5. It's a really good rating. You'll see there that there's a little 7% decrease. It's a bit of a curveball. Last year was our first event, so there's lots of 10s, lots of very happy people that we had our very first championships. So this year we had a benchmark and we had something to go against. So the 8.5% event, 8.5 mark event rating is still a really good positive number to achieve. So that's great. Look over, and so moving forward to next year, we are aligning with the senior championship. So we are also going to the Midlands up in Grantham. We're going to have the junior hosted by Spartan. It's going to be 2 options for children. 10 to 13s are going to be able to run a 3K course, and then 14 to 17s are going to run a slightly longer course of 5K. And the committee will be working really closely with Spartan to make sure that not only do we put on a fun course, it's adapted, it's challenging, and it's appropriate for the ages of the kids that are going to be competing. Alongside that, obviously there's a competitive element, but there'll also be the normal Spartan events, which will be available for the younger children to take part in. So if you've got children that maybe aren't quite old enough to take part in the junior championships, get them along, and there'll be races that they can take part in over the whole weekend. And then where are we going for 2024? So as Becky mentioned, we've got a long-term athlete development program that we're starting to set up. And the key and the core to that is about participation and getting as many children out in the fresh air, rolling around in the mud, doing jumping, climbing, swinging, doing everything that kids should be doing on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. We want to make it a really fun, enjoyable and inclusive environment, and giving children not only sort of athlete skills, but also resilience skills that they can take with them as they grow older, but also managing that development from an athletic standpoint to make sure that what we're doing with them and what we're enabling them to do helps prevent injuries. So we don't want children doing too many things too soon. So that athlete development program will work quite closely with the coaches and the training centres to make sure that we've got a good, steady, safe progression for them. And whilst we obviously, we're looking at participation numbers and we're increasing the amount of children that we have out on course, we do recognise that there are some very competitive children out there. So we'll be working really closely with the race organisers to make sure that there are competitive opportunities available for children. Currently it's 10 and above. And we'll keep working quite closely with the race organisers to make sure that for those children that do want to compete, that there will be places that they can. Then when we look at the other end of the spectrum and we look at the young adults, we recognise that there are cost implications as you start to transition into more senior races. Things get more expensive. And we want to try and reduce the financial barriers involved with that transition period. So again, we've already started the discussions with some race organisers about ways in which we can help as a federation remove those financial barriers. And more information will come out on that the further down the line we go. And then sort of finally, but not really least, is looking at ways that we can become more inclusive. So getting the sport out to a wider range of children and a more diverse background, and just really making sure that we make the sport as inclusive as we can for everybody, irrespective of race, gender, socioeconomic background, etc. And then all of that encompasses into, again, what Becky touched on. You know, we would want to build a real strong foundation of a national team, and the children that we see today, you know, become the elite athletes of tomorrow. And even when we start looking at Olympic aspirations, actually, if we get this youth development right, the children that are being born, you know, in the next year or 2 years could potentially be going on to doing, you know, short course Olympic OCR racing if we can get it that far. And what can you do? So much as all the other committee members have said, you know, support and membership is a great way that you can get in support and help. So grandparents, aunties, uncles, you know, support the kids, support the young people. All of those support and memberships help the federation with everything that we want to try and do. And volunteers, we had a great number of volunteers out at the junior championships, and I think the more volunteers we can have, the more support the children have, and it just all becomes a big family network of people. So if you can support with your memberships or you can volunteer, then it's hugely appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn, and excited to see the progression and lots more to come, I think, in 2024 for the youth engagement. So thank you to all the committee there for the work this year. I'm very mindful. We are going to run over. I think we have to accept that now. We've got a couple more committee updates to go, and then some partner updates and bits and pieces. So and time for questions. So I fully understand if people will need to leave at 9 o'clock, but we're gonna continue and run over rather than rush through, because some really important updates. And next is Sean, who is our committee chair for coach development.
Thank you, James. I'll be quick. Try and get a few more people through. Yeah, so that's the committee. Dave was the chair until recently. He's got other commitments in British Obstacle Sports now, so we've switched back roles, which is great. And Lindsay's very much in the background there, doing a lot of the training and administration, which is fantastic. Got James representing OCR along with Dave, and we've got the ninja representatives in Henry and Lindsay, which is great too. So obviously the one that Ali went through, the slide with the two circles overlapping, it's important that we have representation from the ninja side and the OCR side, and we've got some sub-focus on the track stuff as well, particularly 100 metres. Okay. We've trained quite a few coaches since 2020. The hard bit is keeping them certified. There's a few prerequisites to go through, sometimes annually, sometimes every 3 years. So that's certainly going to be a push into 2024, getting those coaches to update their certifications. I think there's a bit more information in a couple more slides, but we do want more coaches. We're going to run a range of different types of coaching courses next year. We're going to do a couple of OCR level 1, level 2s. We're going to do some advanced stuff and some ninja stuff as well. But that's the aim, is to get more coaches trained and certified through the different pathways that we've got. This is the revised plan. We did a flip. We did a consultation with the ninja coaches, and the way that we structured level 1, level 2 was really sort of back to front for them. So what we've done now is we've brought in an assistant coach certification at level 1, so you can go on the training course for ninja or for OCR. You can actually come through the parkour pathway as well, through Parkour UK. They've got a level 1, level 2. and that gives you the assistant coach certification. You do need to have the prerequisites. I'm not going to read through all of those, across the bottom and down the side as well. But ultimately, when the OCR coaches get to level 2, they're typically also gym instructors or personal trainers, so they can apply that within the gym under their own insurance. But also those certifications give them the understanding around anatomy and physiology and fitness as well, which is really important in developing. Going back to that previous slide about long-term athlete development, to understand that, you sort of need to know the principles. So it's not just about learning how to coach technique. And then we've got the advanced stuff now. So we're just running the first one. I ran the pilot for this just over a year ago in the Philippines. When I was doing this for World Obstacle, it went down really well. So we're now going to apply that into the UK. And some of those people will go on and get the level 4 in strength and conditioning, which is a nice certification to have. So we've got a group of 6 people going through that at the moment. In the bigger picture on the next slide, you can read this yourself. I'm not going to go through all of this, but the blue is what we do within British Obstacle Sports. But I've shown in red, for example, UK Athletics, how that maps on. So those people who are in OCR want to run coach, they can go through that pathway. We've got the parkour pathway in the middle. If you want to be an educator trainer, we've got the training pathway in orange. We've mapped it to UIPM, their levels. And then we're down the left-hand side, we've got it's managed by SIMSPA, but there's sort of the reps, the Register of Exercise Professionals, or EREPs, or the International Confederation of Reps. So we mapped internationally as well. And then you can see at the bottom there how this evolves into graduate, postgraduate coaching and sports science. So it all fits in a national model. It's aligned to other Olympic sports. And it gives an element of progression, and it gives insurance as we go through as well, off the back of working inside gyms and training centres and being insured within those gyms and training centres. We've also included things like SGX, for example, and the UNAA Ninja certification. So all mapped in there, worked really well. So this is what we're aiming towards. This is where we want to get our coaches certified and qualified and registered under British Obstacle Sports. So pilots. So we're looking. We've piloted level 1. We originally called that level 2, but it's level 1. So we're going to update that pilot with the feedback that we get from that, and then move on to level 2. So that's the next stage for the Ninja Sport Coach certification. So we should be able to run a full level 1, level 2 course next year for that one. We've just completed our first gym instructors course. This is underneath Active IQ. We became our own accredited centre for this, myself and Dave as the assessors and internal verifiers. We only had 3 in the course, only 2 managed to get through, 1 didn't complete. But it's the sort of thing we can do each year if there's enough demand for it. And it's much cheaper than you would pay for commercially. So anyone wants to embark on that route, gym instructor, personal trainer, strength and conditioning level 4, we can run that. We're going to run that with our accreditation partner strength and conditioning course from next year, and they're based at 5S Fitness in Macclesfield. Level 3, level 4, so that's ongoing. We're on to this weekend, where we've got an online module on Thursday, which is all that periodization and planning long-term athlete development. And then we've got the on-site advanced course at Rumble Fitness on Saturday. They'll then go off the back of that and do a 3-month case study to get the level 4s. It's a lot more complicated, as you can imagine, to get to that level, because you're moving into degree level at level 4. So we need them to do a 3-month case study, working with an age group athlete that they're developing into events, etc. So it's a nice course to do. We've got all the key people. So Scotty from the PT Barn, for example, Dave from Rumbles on there, and quite a few others. So it's a nice course, quite intense, but it's the future of coaching if you want to sort of get to that level and work with age group and elite athletes moving forward. So our 2023 objectives that we're running through this year was to train 25 more coaches. We didn't quite meet that. but we are running the pilot for the level 3, which is ongoing. That finishes on, as I said, that finishes on Saturday. We ran the pilot. It says level 2 there. That's actually become the level 1 certification now, but we did do that, which is great. And we want to develop our coaches further with all the various certifications. So that's ongoing. It's not completely finished yet. We're going to do more of that. And as I said right at the start, you start to develop more coaches and get them certified. So in 2024, we're going to carry on with level 3, level 4, but we want to move to a track coach where we've got, in that overlap between OCR and Ninja, we're now engaging a group of the athletes, particularly the Ninja athletes, and working out what we teach on the level 3, 4 track pilot. It's very specific, isn't it? Because it's 12 obstacles. It's all about those obstacles. It's all about speed. It's all about transition between obstacles. So it'll be a very focused course. There'll be video analysis based in it. So it's going to be a very interesting course to pilot and work through. So we have a meeting every couple of weeks for that as we scope the content for it. So we do need to get the those people I mentioned before, to get them fully certified, to get their DBS, safeguarding, etc., the insurance up to date and registered. We'll do that level 2, level 1 into level 2 Ninja Sport Coach course, as we said. And then we're going to run more level 1, level 2 OCR coach courses, at least 2, I would think. And that might include the gym instructing, which is that final one. And certainly the people on the level 3 and into level 4 may well upgrade and do the strength and conditioning certification. It's an extra cost, but we've got a very good deal on it. It's much cheaper than you'd get commercially through strength and conditioning course based at 5S Fitness. So really looking forward to getting that done for those people and getting them through their case studies. I think that's it, isn't it? That was quick, wasn't it?
Thank you, Sean. That's a great update. And again, it's such a key part of our sport is our coaches. So thank you to all the coaches that got involved so far. And we are going to work through that administrative side. So we're getting all the information from our coaches and we're getting that from a certification perspective as well. And looking forward to seeing many more coaches on the courses next year, and hopefully the changes will encourage more that maybe haven't coached before to come along in the coaching program. So do reach out if you're interested. Gonna hand over for the last committee update, I believe, from Joe. So I'll hand over Joe. Joe is committee chair and also I think, well, I'll say it for her. She's one of our top technical officials. She was CTO for the 3K champs, so she was chief technical official for the 3K champs out in Belgium this year, and has been a real key part of the team has brought all these updates to our technical officials, which I'm sure you've seen at many events around the country.
Lovely, thank you, James. I will keep this very short as we are heading for time. So we have had a few changes with our committee. Stuart Gollins left the committee due to time constraints, and James Allen stepped in. He took over the coordination from Lindsay, who still stayed within the committee. And we also saw Laura Baskeyfield come and join in from a Ninja perspective, taking over from Henry Cookey. So again, still got a very full committee, very active, lots of communication that goes on between us. So what we decided to do is, as our committee got bigger and our roles and responsibilities just grew over the last year, we had so many things that we were trying to do. So we've all started to take a focus on elements of the roles. So you can see some of the things that we are doing. Obviously, Mike still leads on Spartan. James is our Tough Mudder lead. Laura for Ninja. Sean's taking on the OCR 100 and the track element. James predominantly looks at how the rulebook element. I focus very much on the development and the training of the officials in the UK. And Lindsay looks at the operating procedures behind how we work and working with race directors to make sure that we can go in at the top level. Okay, so our objective is to have the best technical officials in the world. So we're setting the standard high straight away. And I really can say honestly that we are well on our way to achieving this. If you look at our achievements on the next few slides. So to date, we have trained 126 technical officials. This time last year, we were at 53. So we've now up to 126, which is absolutely fantastic. And that's through training courses that we run throughout the year virtually. We've continued with our CPD, so we've ran Spartan referee training modules, and this is to really ensure that our officials know and can understand the rules. They get a chance to talk about the rules, how things could be interpreted, so that we're developing ourselves as officials and we can make those correct decisions. Our officials get points for coming along to these training sessions, so that's how we've been developing to date, and we've got some new developments for next year coming through. Here's some of our achievements. Apart from having our beautiful light blue bibs that are very, very nice, better than any of others we've seen across the world. We have officiated 61 events. We have had 519 experience records submitted. I have awarded 9,559 points to officials. And this is all this year. And at the moment, 75% of all our officials that are trained were active in 2023. So as you can see, we've done really, really well this year. We've got a really active group. Lots of officials are out at events all the time. They're earning their experience points and then moving through the levels. So as well as UK events, we've also had some amazing international experience this year. We have been all over the world. I'd like to say world because we went to the world, but we've only really been over Europe. But, you know, there's still 2024 to come. We took a smaller team to Hungary where we officiated on some of the events. And then we took an even bigger team over to Belgium. We had in every format across the weekends, which was the 4 different events, we had at least one UK official, probably 2 at every event. So we were really well represented in all those events. We also had 2 out of the 4 chief technical officials were UK officials. So myself on the 3K and Sean Wild on the 100 metres. So we, you know, from a UK perspective, we were at the top of our game there, which is absolutely fantastic. And that puts us in the pool to be selected for future championships as well. Let's have a look. So this is just a bit of an idea of where our officials are sitting at the moment. So 27 have trained but are still unleveled, as it were. They've done the training, but they've never done any experiences. We've got 82 technical officials who are sitting at what is currently level 2. 8 are sitting at national technical official, 2 international, 1 senior technical official, and 5 of our officials have actually lapsed their membership, and we've lost them along the way. So here's a bit of a recognition of some of those amazing guys out there. So these are predominantly your head officials that you'll see. So Matt Kirk, Lucinda, Sarah, Lindsay, Jane, Wendy, Paul and Wayne have all joined the ranks of level 3. We have at least the same amount again, if not more, waiting to complete their paperwork and be signed off. So, you know, hopefully within the early part of next year, this will have doubled already. We have 2 at level 4, which is myself and James Allen, and Sean, who's currently sitting at level 5. So we've got a really good spread of experience and lots of people there. Don't know what's next. So these are our 2023 objectives, which I'm really pleased to say that we have achieved green on all of these, apart from the bottom one. So we wanted to train 60 plus. We've actually trained 73. We wanted to take our officials to federated world and regional championships. So like I previously mentioned, we wanted to establish a pathway in line with World Obstacle Guidelines, which we have done and we're working towards. We wanted to roll out a uniform, which we've done. And what we would have liked to have done was to progress at least 20 people to level 3. We're at 11 at the moment, or at level 3 or above. But like I said, we've got a handful of people waiting to come through. So I'm pretty confident that give us a few months and this will have been achieved. And that's a reminder to those officials out there to get their paperwork in as soon as you can, so I can certify you. Lovely. So looking forward to 2024, we're going to re-look at the pathway in line with new world obstacle pathways that are coming in. So this will look at pathways across OCR cross country, OCR track and ninja. And what we're going to do is we're going to launch that to our UK officials in early 2024 to let them know what's happening. I'm still not aware of everything at the moment, so it's just a warning out there that things will change. Like Becky's mentioned with the technical committee, we're updating our rule book with both OCR and Ninja. We're making sure that our event paperwork is consistent and the language and terminology that we use is consistent with what is happening across the world within obstacle racing. So it's really formalising the processes, which we started to implement in our British Championships this year. We want to progress our officials to achieve level 3, so another 15. We'd like to get to over 200 officials over the next 2 years, and we would actively encourage you to, if you want to be an official, and if you do race currently, but there are times that you can help, like with junior championships, come along to the training and do that and help us out. We're also looking at creating a standard operating procedure with our events and race directors, which basically outlines what a technical official does, how they help you, so that we can ensure a consistent approach across all events. And again, a lot of that is supporting our officials when they're at events. And sorry, a chat has just disturbed me, so I'm going to ignore that and carry on. And what we're going to do in 2024 is try and run an actually face-to-face technical officials training day, so we can discuss all those contentious rules and how we'd interpret them, and get together as a group when we're not all stuck on an obstacle eagerly watching athletes coming through, and have a bit of fun. So that's us. Next training day is January the 4th. So please come along, pop that in your diary, and come along and join me for our next training for our technical officials.
Thank you, Jo. And yeah, thank you to, as Jo said, to all the technical officials out there that have supported competitive events this year. It's pretty incredible to see the progress that's been made. And we do want our technical officials to be the best. And I think it's only going to continue to progress. And I encourage everyone racing to also be patient, because it's not easy to, as I've experienced, to officiate some of these obstacles. There's loads of athletes running through, you're having to look in multiple directions. So this team is going to continue to get better and better, but we also need to understand how difficult a job it is to do as well. So I do encourage any athletes out there to go on the course and give it a go as well. So that concludes the committee updates. Going to hand over to some partner updates as well. And first, partner updates, the many kind of community organisations, media organisations that are out there. We do work with as many as possible. If your name's not on this list, do reach out and we'll make sure you're on there. Apologies if I have missed anyone that we're in conversation with as well. It's great to see a few more names popping up this year as well. It does highlight the growth of the sport again after kind of being hit by COVID and some of the impact there. We've got the Talking Dirty OCR podcast and social channels that is run by Megan Tranter. It's amazing to see the promotion of female athletes, and then Accountability Corner as well. From Darren, Chris and Morgan. So 2 great podcasts to get on and listen to. I'm going to first hand over to Shahedur. Shahedur is on our board. He's elected director. He also is heavily involved with the community organisation Ninja Sport UK. And he's just going to give an update on the awards and the 2024 league.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. And thank you, James, and everybody at BOS for for all the fantastic work that you've been doing, with the federation, and we're just moving things forward in such a positive direction. And on that front, this is kind of part of the inspiration that went behind the Ninja Sport UK Annual Awards 2023, which was about recognizing the achievements of the wider ninja community in a number of categories. And we're so grateful for all the support that we received for this. It wasn't easy, and again, really grateful for the kind of inspiration with many of you, including yourself, James, UKOCR, Ali Hay, Laura Baskeyfield. So many people came together here to make this a very fantastic and enjoyable event, and it was great to see many of you from British Obstacle Sports to support the event. Lovely to see all of you all dressed up, looking fantastic, looking beautiful for this momentous occasion. And on this awards, we celebrated so many people in a number of categories. In particular, best ninja training facility, fan favorite ninja park, service to ninja sport, ninja personality of the year, youth ninja personality of the year, international ninja, most improved youth ninja influencer, and best NSUK League competition venue. And it was great to have British Obstacle Sports sponsor the fan favorite ninja park and service to ninja sport awards. And we're very lucky to have other people coming in within the ninja community to support the awards as well, including Ninja Leisure, Event Safety Plan, BPDO, Ninja Warrior Stoke, Prime Leisure Group, and Warrior Lifestyle, many of whom have been really excited by the work done within the ninja community, and also eager to work with British Obstacle Sports British Obstacle Sports. So we'll be looking to see some real positive things from there in the future.
Amazing, thank you, and congratulations to all the winners of the awards. Very, very well deserved. And
thank you.
Yeah, next, gonna bring in Alan. Alan's, if anyone doesn't know, is Mr. Muddy Duck himself, responsible for UKOCR in conjunction with Ian and Ian Kay, and he's going to give an update on the series next year.
Thanks very James for introducing there, and thank you to British Obstacle Sports in putting this on and doing what you're doing, guys. UKOCR Series 2024. Before I talk about 2024, let me say how well it's done in 2023. So in 2022 to 2023, we had a growth of 164% of athletes who did 3 or more events. And that was one of our main aims, of getting more people to more events. That's absolutely massive for us. So big thank you to all the runners and the racers who actually attended as well and supported us in that. 2024 is well underway. We've currently got 5 events. They're all on there for you: Tartan Warrior, Burton Survivor, Nuclear Races, the British Champs again, and Spartan Race. We are aiming for 8 again. So there's 3 more we're still in talks with, hoping to get them out as soon as possible. Big changes for next year, as in we will be for the first time offering prize money. So yeah, it's a big change for us. Hoping to see it grow, and obviously it's similar to what we had this year with, out of the 4 categories in terms of the individual categories, they went down to the final race of the season. So really hoping to see 2024 same as last year. And yes, it's here. It gets launched this week. On Friday of this week, we'll be launching the UK Obstacle Racing Awards for 2023. I keep writing 2024. Even though we're still talking 2023, and that's because it's in 2024. It's going to be at Mulberry House in Brentwood, Essex. So anyone who knows that area will know that it's very close to Nuclear, and we are going to have, from your feedback, so everyone who attended last year, you all wanted a race on the day. So we've got a race on the day. We're going to have a 3K race at Nuclear Wild Forest. The awards are going to be in the evening. You wanted a better venue. You wanted a choice of food. And we've gone for a better venue, a better choice of food. So we're listening to you all, and we're managing to keep the prices quite reasonable, we believe, as well. So more of that coming out this weekend. So keep an eye on the newly to be launched UKOCR.com page, which gets launched on Friday. Big changes. Thank you, James.
Exciting. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Mark it in the diary, everyone. Save the date. And yeah, good to have a little bit of fun in the morning with the 3K too. I'm going to hand now to Lindsay. Lindsay's obviously a key part of British Obstacle Sports, but also heavily involved with the Scottish OCR community. She's going to give an update on the series.
Hey, thanks, James. I've lost my voice a little bit from a High Rocks weekend, so hopefully everyone can understand me. So just to follow on from Alan, following on from a really successful first year in the Scottish OCR series event, we are really excited to be bringing it back for 2024 in partnership with UK OCR and British Obstacle Sports. So we currently have 2 races confirmed for the calendar. So we've got Winter McTuff, which everyone loves, really unique race in the cold in Scotland, right after the new year. So it gives you something to brush away those Christmas cobwebs with. And then a kind of favourite from last year was Tartan Warrior. So it's back on the calendar again for the 8K up in Ayrshire. Not only is that part of the series, but if you come up to Tartan Warrior, you get a bumper weekend of races. So hopefully see lots of you up there. We are going to add more races. We're working with the race directors and the races as we speak to try and get some more races on the calendar. So look out for that as we continue to release them through socials and the pages. And hopefully we'll bring back, if I can find time, the Who's Scott race preview show as well. I know that was quite popular last year, so we'll try and get that back. So watch this space. I'm really looking forward to running another successful series. So quick update from me, but yeah, look out for some more races as they come out. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and January 7th, Winter McTuff. It's a real bucket list event. It's one on my list. So maybe I'll try and get up there this year as well, and do encourage everyone to give it a go. Not for the faint-hearted, for what I can see. It sounds good. Thank you for the update, Lindsay. And really quickly, partners. So we have kind of count 9 partners now, for like formal partnerships in terms of organisationally, and we've seen the partnership with Spartan and Tough Mudder bear fruit this year in terms of support that they've provided us, and we've been providing them with technical officials as well. Recently launched with Toros, who's an equipment partner, and it was great to have their attachments and equipment at our national championships and the senior and junior championships. We've got our partnership with Towergate. We'll jump in, talk later, and we talked about My Next Match. Nuclear Races has also been formed this year in our partnership with Nuclear Races to support the sport and grow the sport in the UK. Kitbricks is another commercial partner alongside Voom, and then very recently with Pentathlon GB to further the sport of obstacle in the UK. So a couple of quick notes. Voom have very kindly given 25% off with AGM Boss until December 4th. So that's an even better discount than you could normally get as a member. So do make a note of that. If you've managed to hold on 23 minutes over the planned time, you're in luck. You've got an extra discount with Voom. So thank you to Voom for providing that. And they are also going to be sponsoring our endurance series as well. So I'm sure you're going to be seeing many prizes coming through for the endurance league next year. And Towergate insurance, as we mentioned, is a pretty key part to what we need to do as a national governing body. We need to ensure our events are insured correctly and cost effectively as well, because that means we can all take part in races and go to training centres and things like that at a cost effective price as well. So really glad that we've been working with Nick Sullivan and the Towergate team for a couple of years now, and really supportive, and helped a lot of events to get insurance as well. We referred a lot to Towergate, and Nick's going to give us a quick update on kind of the support they've been providing.
Evening all. Important and exciting. You failed to mention the exciting part of insurance, James.
100%.
So my name's Nick Sullivan. I'm responsible for the Towergate Insurance Brokers Obstacle Sports Specialism, as well as being an obstacle sports participant and occasional boss volunteer as well. I know we've touched on insurance a couple of times already this evening, so this is just a quick summary from me, really, of the key areas of focus of our partnership with British Obstacle Sports. The first is all around the individuals and obstacle sports participants. So this is all about individuals and the participants. So Towergate continues to arrange the personal accident cover that's provided for all BOSS members automatically as part of the subscription. James touched on that earlier. The details are widely available, including on the web page. So do check those out and make sure you're comfortable with those. In addition to that, the automatic cover, the personal accident cover, is designed to be a relatively basic. It's in line with the sports governing bodies offering in general, but reasonably basic cover. And it pays set benefits for predefined sorts of injuries. What we would certainly recommend, though, is that anyone who is participating in obstacle sports does consider their own exposure and don't just assume that cover is right for you, and consider additional covers as well. Income protection or additional benefits are available as well. So certainly worth thinking about that. Travel insurance. Anyone travelling abroad to participate in obstacle sports should also give some thought to this. Many will already have annual travel cover from their bank or similar, but it doesn't always respond to hazardous activities, of which obstacle sports is often one of those. So do bear that in mind. Check out your policy, and many of you will already be buying top-ups to that. They are available, sadly, as Towergate. We don't actually provide that, but there's some good options out there. And if you do want an all-encompassing travel policy, then obviously you can contact us for that. Happy to help there. Finally, on the sort of the members and the individuals, just touching on coach insurance. I'm aware that a number of coaches have encountered some difficulties in actually extending existing cover. They may have sort of public liability, professional indemnity when they become qualified for obstacle sports. Therefore, we are looking to make something available specifically for qualified BOSS coaches in the future. So a work in progress at the moment, that one. Moving on to the second area of our work is in really trying to reverse the negative perception of obstacle sports within the insurance industry, again, that James touched on. This is being done to two main things, really: demonstrating the good practices of risk management that are already in place. We don't want to overlook those, but also supporting BOSS in the creation of industry standards. As from an insurance perspective, this definitely assists in giving underwriters comfort around the way the sport is run, firstly, and also what they're more concerned with, which is actually the ability to defend claims where claims should be defended. And that's not to say a claim should always be defended, but we'd like to be able to make sure it can be for those more spurious claims that we do see. So just a quick rundown from me, hopefully useful, and thanks for all for listening.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, and as we say, it's going to be a key part of 2024, and do encourage any event operators out there to reach out as well, and we're going to work together around these areas, because insurance is going to be a key part, I know, from an event operator perspective. So equally it is for us as well. Couple more, we've got a few more slides, we're almost there. Thank you, and do want to just see if any have any questions, but we'll just cover these last slides. So ballot results, so these aren't 100% final because voting closed during the AGM, but at 5 p.m. All resolutions were passed. Thank you for everyone for voting. We had our highest voter turnout in terms of number of people voting, 247, not 100% final, and but equally we've got a lot more eligible members to vote now. So we definitely do have some work to do in terms of engaging with our wider audience as more and more people join British Obstacle Sports. But really grateful for everyone who's voted and passed all the resolutions, and congratulations to everyone who's been elected, both for re-election, and then also to Laura, who's been elected onto the Ninja Sport Technical Committee. It's very difficult for me to see the chat, so I don't know if there's been any questions, but maybe I'll pass to Becky. I know we're massively over time, but if there's some questions, maybe we can try and cover maybe for 5-10 minutes.
I've got them listed down, James, in order that they came up, if you want to tackle the answers?
You ask them and then we can see. Yeah, go on.
Okay, the first one was from Dawn. Dawn is always talking about recognition and negotiations with modern pentathlon. Out of modern pentathlon and BOSS, who will get the NF vote? I think we covered that a little bit, but do you want to clarify that one?
Yeah, so it's very much TBD. So there's a lot more to come out, both from UIPO and World Obstacle, and then equally, then we need to work through with Pentathlon GB. So we'll certainly share more information as we have it, but there's no definitive answer there yet.
On a similar topic, Alan Moore asked, is there a fourth option that Pentathlon GB and BOSS merge?
I think that I thought I had that as an option, so it is certainly an option that's there. Whether that be now or in the future, it's not something that's part of our plan currently, but it's we should always have these options. But equally, any option like that would be a constitutional change that would be voted through by our members. It would need 75% to vote through, so there, yeah.
This might be more from Nick from B, who's looking closer at the insurance policy. Does the personal accident cover include adaptive athletes, including wheelchair athletes, or would that be one of the on-request options?
Good ask, Nick. Yeah, Nick looks like he's going to answer that one. Thank you.
Yes, it does. I think there may well be a slight variance on some of the benefits payable for obvious reasons. But other than that, no, there's certainly the policy is for all members regardless.
Great. And Anna Reid asked, I think via UK OCR, now we're seeing an increase in adaptive and para athletes. How are we going to maintain that increase, or what we're going to do to maintain that in our membership?
Yeah, so I think the strategy with power and adaptive is to offer power and adaptive athletes more opportunities to take part, because ultimately the more opportunities, one, it raises exposure, and as we've seen with the 3K champs, we've had some adaptive athletes that have never even taken part in obstacle sports before getting involved. It's only going to lead to more and more coming into the sport. So working with the UK OCR series races, for example, and having adaptive categories, so we have enough races that offer power to be able to have an adaptive league next year as well. And so that's essentially the primary strategy in the short term, and actually create that critical mass. As we've seen with our membership, the more people that become members, it leads to more members. And it's the same with adaptive and power. The more adaptive power athletes that are competing, the more that will join. One very critical part for next year, love to see more female athletes take part as well. So we definitely need to look as a first step in the I guess the current distances that we can offer para competitively, but then equally also as probably a next step is and probably a harder step in terms of how we offer it. Wheelchair access it's possible from a non-competitive perspective, but how can you potentially offer that in the future competitively as well?
I think another point B makes is moving on from that in endurance events, competitive endurance events, whether there's could be developing wheelchair racing in that sense.
Yeah, no, same thing. I think I know that a number of endurance events offer it non-competitively and also from a milestone perspective. So Europe's Toughest Mudder, for example, I know does, and when I was out at World's Toughest Mudder, they offer it. But how do you potentially offer it from a competitive perspective when you're putting one wheelchair athlete against another? And that's something to look at in terms of how we can do that from a competition perspective.
One more. Any consolation been given to the inclusion of trans athletes when becoming a recognised sport?
Was that
transgender athletes in the
yeah, no, I think and being completely honest, we don't have a current policy on that matter, but equally it's something that we need to have. So that will be something that we work through as part of our full application. As was noted, there's a number of policies we need to produce, and our transgender policy is an important one as well that needs to be created.
I think that's all the questions, unless anyone has more in the chat. There was one other comment about the best prices available for the national championships 12K and how to understand that fully, when there'll be any more discounts or anything like that.
Yeah, so for the 12K champs, we shared a note on the announcement group today. So essentially, the early bird price that was out until November 1st was the best price. There isn't for until Thursday, I believe, a 10% discount. It doesn't take it lower than that early bird price, but it does discount obviously 10% off the price. And there'll be another note we sent out in our newsletter that I think there's 2 or 3 people that maybe may have bought at a slightly higher price, and they can reach out and we can work out something with them. But we've committed and agreed with Spartan that the championship will always, you sign up early, it will always be the best price to sign up. So the people that signed up as early bird got the best price, and now we've got a 10% discount for a few days. And there won't be further discounts after that. So get signed up if you're going to do it, because it's going to be a great event next year.
No, that's all, I think.
Amazing. Thank you. I'll leave it there unless there's any final comments from the floor. Do have some good news and some not so good news in terms of when I'm going to announce the Ultimate Season Pass on behalf of British Obstacle Sports. But the good news is you've got more chance to enter tickets. So unfortunately, as you could see of how much got produced and brought together for the AGM, we don't have all the data in terms of the number of entries for the Ultimate Season Pass. So apologies for everyone that's holding on for the winner, but we will be announcing it in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And it is an amazing prize, and multiple people have tickets. So it's going to be exciting to see who wins. A big thank you to all the events and training centres and adventure parks that have offered tickets. So one very lucky member is going to win the Ultimate Season Pass for 2024. There's various ways that people have got tickets to the Ultimate Season Pass. Here are your top 3 most tickets claimed. And as you may have identified, all of these 3 are technical officials, and that was one way to earn tickets. So every time you did a shift as a technical official, you earned a ticket to the Ultimate Season Pass. Equally, so thank you, Wayne, James and Joe, I should add, for all their support. Equally, people that renewed for a 2-year membership or extended into 2025, or if you referred someone else, you got an entry as well. And as I mentioned, volunteering and officiating and tickets as well. So we're going to get all of that data together, and we will organise probably a Facebook Live or Instagram Live to announce the winner. Equally, we have a lot of junior prizes. This is an open entry. If as long as your membership expires, or junior membership expires after July 1st, you can win one of these great prizes. This is slightly different from the Ultimate Season Pass, where loads and loads of juniors are going to get entries, and we're going to work out a process. So hopefully these are done regionally, so we're not, someone in the south is not winning a ticket for McTuff potentially, and so it's much easier for the juniors to get to it. Big thank you again to all the juniors, all the events, that have offered junior tickets for prizes. 2024, to look at what we did this year, and since we found in 2019, I think we can kind of look at what we might be achieving, but I really think we're going to continue to progress beyond that. And the big thing for 2024 is the full application, and that's going to be priority number 1 to get the recognition the sport deserves. So thank you for all your support. Just a quick final thanks to Reece Jeremiah for helping with the AGM and organisation there. There's a few people you may not have seen or heard of, but Dan Rose, all the website work, Ignacio Gonzalez for a lot of the design work that you see, Stuart Jeffrey, massive help with the junior champs and the film in there. Sean Brooks Gallop, again, someone behind the scenes that's been helping, contacting events and organising things. Sam Winkworth, and as our race director for the junior champs. I've mentioned Megan and her work on social and been a massive help, kind of supporting social media. And then Shelley, every week or so sends an email out to any new members with their membership number. As I say, there's so many different jobs that we can do at British Obstacle Sports, and that's just something that Shelley's volunteering that hour or so every few weeks to help us, and it just really makes a big difference. There's probably many more people that I haven't mentioned. I do apologise if your name hasn't been called out today, because it is gratefully appreciated for everyone's support. And I wish everyone all the best. If I don't see anyone at the Ninja Champs or different events, have a great Christmas and New Year. It feels very early to say that, but it is the off season for many of us. And thank you for all your time. And that concludes the AGM this year. Thank you very much. Thank you to the remaining participants, and big apologies for overrunning. We definitely had more slides than I expected with all the work this year.